Hello, welcome back to my channel, Ask MCT Chris. In today's session, I'm going to show you how to compute the number of working days between two dates. Stay tuned, and before we start, let's look at my intro. Now let's take a look on this Power BI report that is opened. I only have two tables in here, the date and the reseller sales table. And under the reseller sales table, I have two fields in there, which is the order date and the ship date. And the requirement is to get the number of working days between the order date and the ship date. Now, how do we go about computing that number of working days? We first need to create a field in the date table and identify if it is a working day or a weekend. And if you look at this, we'll use the weekday number wherein 1 is a Sunday and 7 is a Saturday. So to create that field, we need to choose new column in here, and we'll just call it is working day. And then we will use the function called weekday. The weekday will be returning a number from 1 to 7, which is Sunday to Saturday, and the formula needs us to pass on a date table. So I'm going to pass on the date table, which is the date, and then I'm going to check if the return value is a 1 or a 7. And if it's a 1, it returns true. If it's 7, it also returns true. But what we wanted to reverse it, because we wanted the Saturday and Sunday to be false and the rest of the weekday should be true. So in order for us to reverse that, all we need to do is just pass on the not before the weekday, and then that will be reversed. So we now can compute the number of working day between two dates. And to do that, we'll just create a field inside the reseller sales, and we'll call this the delivery working days. And we will use the calculate function. And the calculate needs to pass an expression. So what are we calculating? I just wanted to count the rows in our date table, but I'm not going to count all the rows in the date table. I'm going to pass on a filter. And that would be the dates between the order date and the delivery date. So the dates between needs to pass on a dates field. So that would be the date field from the dates table. And the start date would be from the order date to the ship date. And close bracket. So those are the ones that I wanted to count the number of rows. And in addition to that, if I'm going to stop there, that includes the Saturday and Sunday. So I need to add another filter in here that I will only count the working day, which is the value is true, because that would be Monday to Friday. Now, I don't want this to be included, or I don't want this to be filtered if there's a slicer in there on the date table. So to ignore any filter context under the date table, I'm going to use the all function, pass on the date table, so that if the date table is filtered, that will just ignore the filter. And that's it. And then when I click on the parse, that would be the delivery working days between order date and ship date. So, you've seen how easy it is to compute the number of working days between two dates. All we need to use is a calculate function, count the number of rows in the date table, and filter it using the dates between function, and pass on the start date and the end date. And in our example, it's the order date and the ship date. And also, before you do that, you need to add a field in the dates table, which is identifying which is the weekday and the weekend, and you include it in the filter so that it will not be included in the count of the number of days. And to ignore any filter context, use the all function so that everything will be ignored if there is a filter on the date table. I hope you find this very informative. If you like this session, please hit that like button and hit that subscribe if you want more tips and tricks from me. Thank you for watching.